All right. Thank you. Thank you. I'm here with Sarah Kahn, one of my clients, and we're here today so she can share her experience with working with me. But before we jump into that, Sarah, why don't you go ahead real quick and introduce yourself for everyone so they know who you are, why you're so amazing.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Abby. My name is Sarah Kahn. I am a certified OBM, that's an online business manager. And I help women entrepreneurs who have been in business either 2 months or 2 years or 20 years really look at what sort of assets they have in the business already. So, like knowledge, experience, all of that. And I help them leverage that into business growth. So, basically what I say is I stand in the way of your FOMO, right? I
I love it.
stand in the way of your FOMO so that you're utilizing what you already have before you're constantly investing in other things. My superpower is strategy and breaking that strategy down into actionable steps. That's it in a nutshell, really. I'm a mom of two girls who, fortunately or unfortunately, are just like me. So,
Right. But you're
mm,
crushing it, and
yeah.
so will they.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for that intro so that it gives a nice synopsis and I don't have to like try to fill in that blank for everybody. So, my first question, we're going to jump right into before we started working together, what were you struggling with that led you to working with
Ooh,
me?
okay. Well, gosh, how much time do we have? I really, it was a lot of mindset stuff, and it was so to give a little bit of context. I have been working with mindset. I'm actually a certified mindset practitioner. I have all of the knowledge and I'm able to help other people with it, but I couldn't understand why it was such a struggle for me to implement it or apply it to myself. So really struggling with hearing my own voice, feeling comfortable in my own skin. They tell you that when you turn 40, there's this magical boundary that you cross and you suddenly feel, I'm 45. Like I was like, where is this boundary? Um, Feeling like what I wanted was just out of reach, but never being able to quite see it. Like it was almost like a fog that I couldn't quite make out what I needed. And that was really the way I had been living for so long. It just felt normal for so long that I had stopped thinking that, this is not how it's supposed to be. So that's where I was stuck, just in being able to actually move things forward without overthinking, without feeling out of alignment, without feeling out of place, just constantly looking for that answer. And I couldn't find it.
I remember that. That was a big deal. So,
Yeah.
did you have any at that time that you were stuck? Did you have any objections in your head or thoughts going on that almost led you to not working with me?
Not really. I tend to be a fairly open-minded person. Um, To be honest, I hadn't even really thought about it until I don't know if you remember this exchange that we had because we were in a mastermind together. And I remember I was at my day job and it was like a hot seat coaching day and we were talking to our mastermind coach. And after the call, you had private messaged me and said, do you mind if I try something? Because I really need to, like, I need to try something. Like, don't think I'm crazy, but we need to do this. And you said to me that you saw something on my face in the way that and I wasn't talking about that particular thing. I was talking about something completely different, but you saw something in my face and you said, I really need you to do this. It's going to help. And I was like, okay. And I tried it. And without even knowing me really, without even really knowing who I was or what I was about outside of the business conversations we were having in the mastermind, you pinpointed something that was so deep seated and that I have been struggling with for nearly all of my 45 years. And what you helped me do in like literally 5 minutes shifted something so much for me that I was like, hot diggity dog, there's something here. And that was the seed that was kind of planted in my head that, I really need to investigate Abby a little bit more and see what she's about.
I do remember that. And
Yeah.
one of the reasons I remember it was because when I saw that, I really struggled because it's hard to just approach someone and be like, hey, you might think I'm nuts, but this can be fixed in like two
And that's
seconds.
exactly how you approached me.
Right.
You might think this is nuts, but, and I was
Right.
like, okay.
Yeah, you were super game. I was I was like, whoo. Because you never know how someone's going to be like, "Yep, she's nuts," but no, you were amazing. So I appreciate your gameness on that too.
Oh,
Um, Interesting that you brought that one up. So next question, then we'll keep it rolling.
yeah.
What did you like best about the experience working with me?
Just how much it felt like every week it felt like progress. Every week it felt like something was shifting. And even if in the session I didn't necessarily feel like momentum, there was momentum because a couple of days later something would just fall into place, or I would have a realization, or something would feel easier. So it wasn't like, you just wake up one morning and all your answers are there or all the problems are solved, but it just felt easier every day. That uphill climb that I felt all my life I had been making, suddenly the incline was getting lower and lower. And it was like the journey was getting easier, but I didn't quite realize it until I was like a little bit further on. I looked back and went, huh, okay. So it was nice because I guess the second part to that is you intuitively knew every week what I needed, because we'd hop on a call and you say, what do you want to talk about today? And most of the time I was like, I don't know, what do you think we should talk about? And you always knew the right thing that we needed to address. And so it was really in learning to trust your intuition that I've been able to tap back into mine, which I could not thank you for enough, even if I tried.
That's super amazing. Thank you for saying that because I don't
You're
always hear that
welcome.
every day from people, even though, I'm working with people all the time. All right. So, how has this impacted business for you?
Okay, so where do I start? Since we've been working together, and here's the thing, I have worked with coaches and masterminds for a few years now, but I honestly have to say I have not seen as much progress as I have since I worked with you. And I didn't really think about it until we were talking a little while ago, maybe a week or so ago, and I sat back and I really thought about it. Since we've worked together, it just everything feels easier. I'm not pushing to find answers. I'm not saying all the answers just come to me when I wake up, but I am able now to tap into my intuition, but also trust it, which I think was the big thing. Because one of the big problems I think we all have as women is we may be hearing our intuition, but we're not trusting it because we've been taught not to. So now I feel a lot more confident in saying, okay, my gut doesn't like this, or my gut likes this, and I'm able to go in that direction more easily and with less fear, if that makes sense. And I don't know, I feel like my voice has gotten clearer. I feel like the personality that is innate in me has become more confident, and people are seeing it, and I'm not as afraid of all of the things that have been holding me back over the years. I actually had someone the other day, we were talking about elevator pitches and mission statements and things like that. And I had written a very corporate mission statement, and she goes, "But that doesn't sound like you." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And she goes, and she said this, and when she said it, I was blown away, because she goes, "I've been following your posts recently, and I have to say your personality is so attractive that you really need to showcase it more." And in the past, I would have been like, "Yeah, but it's not professional and it's not blah, blah." And I was like, "Oh, awesome. Okay." And I did that. And the response I'm getting from people has completely shifted. The way people are interacting with me has completely shifted in my business. There's just it's hard to pinpoint one thing. If I had to put it in like a nutshell, everything feels easier. Everything feels so much freaking easier.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. Well, that's what we all want too. I see so many people just like slamming against this brick wall day after day for decades. And
Yeah.
that's excellent news. That's so exciting. And I would have to agree, like your personality it comes off in your posts and your words so clearly
But it
now.
never used to. It
I
never used to.
The fear factor is real.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So last but not least, so I'll let you off the hook here because you've been in the hot seat. I feel like I just kind of turned up the heat and I'm like, hey, do this for me. And,
It's all good.
and you're
It's all
super
good.
game. What do you feel is important for other people to know about what I do?
I am what you would call a pragmatic person. I'm like science woo. Okay, so I'm not 100% woo, and even with energy work to this day, even though I've worked with people who work with energy, I've been taking energy classes and things like that. I still have a little bit of like skepticism and a little bit of like I don't know, but at the same time, you have to trust it, right? Because it's like anything. If you're not willing to try it with an open mind, you will never truly know how game changing it can be. Do I believe in energy? 100%. 100%. Do I believe that there's a and I don't say magic in the literal sense, but I magic in quotes. Do I believe that there's a magic in being able to work with it effectively? 100%. And you have this uncanny ability to channel whatever it is that you do to finding the truth. And I think that when people, if someone is sitting with you and working with you, and they're able to just, suspend disbelief for even 5 minutes and just trust the process, I can guarantee, like money back guarantee, uh, that you will find something shifts and you will find that things get easier, that answers are coming easier. And if not, then you're definitely going to feel seen and heard. You're going to understand more about you. I'm waffling now because it's really hard to
I
explain
know.
the experience of working with you. Um, but it's like when we had our last session, I said, if I could work with you forever, I would. Like having you to just talk to once a week, knowing that you knew what I needed. I have never felt that level of like validation and connection and just trust, like just being able to let go and trust that what you were going to tell me, what you were going to share with me, um, was going to make sense and it was going to help. And I've never felt that. And so I don't know if any of that makes sense, but trust that she knows what she's doing. You have to trust it. It works. I can't explain it, but it works.
Sarah, you're fantastic. You actually were able to put things into words better than I've struggled to tell people some of this stuff. Like I don't know, you guys. I'm working on the process and the language and that, but it works and it's worked all along.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, and it's not really. I like how you did like the woo woo science thing. Like
Yeah.
we can't deny that there is an energy to this.
No. Yeah.
How deep and crazy do we get with it is the other thing. And I don't get that. I don't think I get that deep and crazy with it. So
No,
I
but
just
see, but
use
that
what
was
works.
I think that's the thing too, is that when we were working together, you always explained exactly what was happening and exactly what, I would feel physically or what I would feel emotionally, and gave me real world tips to, make it stick, make it work, make it feel better, help me understand it better. So it wasn't like you were just, doing this and then going to say, go, you're going to be fine. Like you really walked me through the process every week and helped me to understand from a very pragmatic perspective as well what was going on and why I needed this. And I think that made it all the easier to really take on board and internalize.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, I'll let you
You're very
off the hook
welcome.
now. It means the world to me that you were able to put yourself out here and do this for me because I know
Yeah.
the process. I mean,
Anytime.
like we rip band-aids off all 12 weeks.
Yeah,
And then to ask
we
someone to
do.
be like, so how did this impact you? I just appreciate you putting yourself out there like this and
Oh, you're very
making
welcome.
that helping other people make the decision too, so that they hear what you're saying and understand a little bit
Mhm.
more about how this works and what it does for people, and how they can, finally jump off that little bit of a ledge into
Yes.
that leap of faith to break through the things that have been holding them back all along.
Yeah.
So, on that note, we're going to sign off. So, thanks again, Sarah.
You're very welcome.